Closed captioning for the Nerdy 9 at 9 brought to you by the End to the Third podcast. Join Sean and Bill on a geeky, twice weekly journey through the news, nonsense, and entertainment stories that populate the internet. Fun and games and uneducated opinions are abound, and even a guest or two, and robots. There will always be robots. Subscribe on iTunes or visit northwestnerdnetwork.com. And please remember to spay and neuter your cats.
Welcome to the 9th episode of the Nerdy 9 at 9. Triple nines, you know what that means.
No.
If you flip them upside down. If, they were physically and you could...
Why don't we just move on? I'm not seeing it.
My name's Corey.
And I'm Knob.
This is what we're talking about.
You aren't going to want to miss it.
Take it away, Jace.
Now it's time for the weekly pick-me-up. Corey, what did you pick up this week?
I picked up a very special issue of Lady Gaga's Batgirl and a collection of Harley Quinn tales. Christmas themed. This one doesn't smell like though.
This week, I picked up Spider-Man and X-Men #1. It tells the story about the time Logan decided to take a quick vacation, so Spider-Man had to step in. I also picked up Deadpool, The Art of War #3. And as you can see on the cover, the Incredible Hulk makes an appearance. And now it's time for This Week in DC. Corey, what happened on The Flash?
Well, Mr. Allen gets his berries denied, while Joe drinks a little too much of the eggnog and allows a man in a wheelchair to get a crippling blow. Reverse Flash also gives the internet a reason to speculate. What happened on Arrow?
This week on Arrow, Love is in the Air as... Oh, we already did that one. This week on Arrow, Malcolm Merlyn sends a text to Oliver Queen in order to get the Arrow to fight the demon head himself, Ra's al Ghul. What happened on Constantine?
A man plays a little too close to a snake, granting him the powers to heal people with a miraculous gift. And then that Englishman Constantine and his merry men of come to take away the only chance that hard-working, tax-paying Americans have for a normal life.
And that was This Week in DC. Do you see that? It looks like there's something coming into the frame.
No.
What is that? Anyway, must be something stupid. Ladies and gentlemen, for the past few weeks, Corey and I have been discussing a suicide pact.
No, we've been talking about the Suicide Squad movie.
Is that what we talked about?
Yeah, because the cast was announced. You have Will Smith as Deadshot, Jared Leto, Joker,
Dr. Phil.
No, Tom Hardy.
Oh, he's like they're similar. They look a lot alike.
Anyways, I'm not so optimistic about the movie, and Knob, you are a little more hopeful for it.
Mm-hmm.
The reasons why I feel a little off maybe about the project is the way that's being put together. Having Will Smith on a team movie I don't know if that's going to work too well, since Will Smith kind of likes to be the centerfold of the film, and I'm not sure if he's going to be able to play the side character that Deadshot is. And I also think it was a missed opportunity having Tom Hardy, who is Australian, to play Captain Boomerang.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a missed opportunity where they went with Jai Courtney instead, which hasn't really done much or hasn't really proven himself as an actor. And I also think that the inclusion of the Joker is maybe pushing it too far. I understand having Harley Quinn in the Suicide Squad movie and maybe hinting at the Joker, but hiring an actor at the pedigree of Jared Leto and having him come in for the Suicide Squad movie, it's now feeling like the producers just wanted to make a Joker movie but they didn't want to come out and say that, so they kind of took the backdoor route with the Suicide Squad movie until they knew they could get a Joker that was good enough to follow up the previous incarnation. And so it starts to feel less and less like a Suicide Squad movie.
Mm-hmm. I am a little bit more optimistic just because I think that though it's been confirmed that Jared Leto is the Joker and that he's in the movie, they haven't said that the Joker is part of the Suicide Squad. So I'm going in assuming that the Joker is the main villain, or he is kind of not in the background, but he's not the main focal point. And I think that Deadshot will end up being the leader of the Suicide Squad, or maybe if not the leader, like the second in command or whatever. So it'll give Will Smith more screen time. I think everybody that they have announced so far has proven themselves time and time again that they can all act and all act really well. So as far as their acting chops, I don't think they have anything to prove. And I think it's really up to a director to make a good or a bad movie. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I'm pretty optimistic for this movie.
I just feel the choice for Will Smith is sort of out of left field. He's the only one that doesn't really belong, but I think he can prove himself well in the role if he can sort of play well with others.
And I think he'll be able to. I think it's just like the Heath Ledger thing, where nobody, or he was kind of like the what the fuck pick, and he proved everybody wrong. And I think, like I said before, Will Smith has proven himself as a good actor time and time again. And I think if anybody can pull it off, he can, honestly. And same with Jared Leto as Joker. I think that they nailed it with that casting as well. The only part of the Suicide Squad that I'm somewhat on the fence on is Oprah Winfrey. But, I mean, she looks like Amanda Waller, so
yeah.
Fuck it.
She definitely has the complex of Amanda Waller.
Yeah. The complex of Amanda Waller and the smell of a bastard calf.
Okay, so those are our thoughts on the Suicide Squad movie. List your thoughts in the comments below. Tell us what you think.
Well, folks, it's the holiday season again, and that means Corey and I are going to babble on about our favorite Christmas movie. Corey, tell them what your favorite Christmas movie is.
It will and will forever be Die Hard.
Not a Christmas movie. I don't see where you would ever get that.
It takes place on Christmas.
Yeah, so does Godzilla.
Huh?
But that's not a Christmas movie. Why don't you try again?
Okay, I guess my real Christmas pick would have to be Jingle All the Way.
Good one.
Starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Dude, it's 2014. You can't say things like that. Try again.
Starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Thank you.
And the genius comedic timing of Sinbad.
The cartoon?
No, okay, he's been in loads of movies. He's been in First Kid.
Uh-huh.
And Jingle All the Way.
And Sinbad the biopic.
No.
Is that this?
No. First Kid.
Uh-huh.
Jingle All the Way.
Sinbad the movie.
Okay. Well, it also features Tom Arnold.
That's not Tom Arnold.
Also features Tom Arnold. Now, what's your Christmas pick?
I think that my favorite Christmas pick would have to be Elf. For obvious reasons.
No, it's not obvious.
Yeah, it is obvious. If you've seen Elf, you know why it's a much superior movie to Die Hard. Yeah. Ooh, my favorite Christmas movie is Dragonheart. Loser.
So those were our Christmas picks.
Woo!
Please list your favorite Christmas movies in the comments below.
Woo! Well, Sad news to report here, folks. As a man leads police on a statewide chase only to crash his motorcycle into an oncoming semi-truck. Who is the man, you ask? He goes by the name of Jackson Teller. He is the leader of the popular motorcycle group, the Sons of Anarchy. Jackson is survived by his 2 young sons and his ex-wife, Wendy. Terribly tragic. Oh, finally, some real news. It seems we have a Jason Todd, also known as the Red Hood, is wanted by police for leading his gang of outlaws to and cripple a innocent comedian. Jason is described as standing 6'0", having blue eyes and reddish blackish hair. Please, folks, if you see this monster, do not approach him, for he is very dangerous.
Corey here from the Nerdy 9 at 9, once again ready to give you some helpful holiday tips. First off, if you're trying to buy a gift or plan a gift for a neighbor or someone you don't like very much, just make them something. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It could be a card. It could be some leftover pistachios. It's not really important. It'll show that you put thought into it and you take the time to make them something instead of just buying them a faceless gift. And first off, the placement of the tree is the most important. I like to put mine right next to the fireplace. That way it lights up the whole side of it. Or maybe you prefer to have it in front of your one and only doorway. That way it's the first thing people see when they walk in and the last thing they see when they leave. And remember, don't drink too much of that eggnog, Joe. And be careful when unwrapping the presents. You don't want to bust the load that's inside. And remember, try and always fake it for your grandmother, even if you do not like what you see. This has been Corey from the Nerdy 9 at 9, trying to make your holiday just that much more special. Take care, y'all.
Why aren't you funny?
Tis the season for cross-dressing. No, for crossing over. For not like physically crossing over, but it's not spiritually crossing over in the sense of Flarrow and the rumors of 21 Jump Street and Men in Black and the never-ending nightmare that is the Spider-Man negotiations between the Avengers. We got to thinking what 2 movies or franchises we would like to see collaborate.
Corey, what would your 2 picks be for a solid crossover?
I think that 2 would just blow the box office wide open, would be a Godzilla King Kong crossover. With the new incarnation of Godzilla and the King Kong movie that's in the works, and them both being owned by the same studio, it just seems like it's likely to happen. Mm-hmm. And it would just make sense to put those 2 franchises together. And hopefully with the success of the second Godzilla movie that's in the work and the King Kong remake that is in production, hopefully they do well enough that convinces the studio to put both of them together, because I think it would just be awesome. Mm-hmm. What are your 2 picks?
Going along the same theme of 2 movies that are owned by the same people and that I think would make an insane movie would be Star Wars and Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't think it's too outlandish to think that they could exist in the same universe. They're owned by the same company or the same studio, so I mean it could work, and I think there's no way that couldn't make a lot of fucking money, yeah, so that would be my pick.
It's good. You do run into the problem though that if the Star Wars universe is in the Guardians universe, then that means they're also in the Marvel universe.
Yes, and when you read the old Star Wars comics they're based off the movie, but Marvel printed those, so it makes sense. It fits.
Iron Man versus Darth Vader? Anyone?
No.
Moving on.
And now it's time for this week's mystery topic.
Hey, why do you...
Because I can keep a f***ing beat.
That was
What are we talking about this week, Corey?
our favorite board games.
Oh, okay.
Bob, what would you say is your favorite board game?
Oh, board game? Oh, shit. There's so many f***ing good ones. I think that my favorite board game, the one that I have the most memory with, is Sorry. It's always a fun one. It's simple, and it doesn't ruin friendships like Monopoly does.
Good pick. My favorite is a little more intermediate board game of Risk. It's really fun if you have the time to play it, because it is a time consumer. And if you have enough people, the more people it is, the more fun it gets, because you're fighting for territories, and the way it's set up, it's a fun, like, strategic game, and it's not just like up to chance. And I even have a special edition Lord of the Rings Risk, which adds a whole story to the board game, and it's based in a world that I like. So
Yeah,
that one's good. Life is always fun.
It's fun.
Trouble, where you get the little pop the dice.
Yeah. One thing we're not talking about is Clue. Clue's a really good one. I've always liked that game.
Mr. Plum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Board games. Going back to the time
Where
in the
families hung
past.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where families were families.
Before Words with Friends came out.
Anyways, what's your favorite board game? Leave a comment in the section below. Tell us. And maybe we'll play with you.
Or we'll play with ourselves.
We promise to do a live stream of board games. Your Twitch. Okay, stay tuned for some shout outs.
Shout out to the Sauce Boss. You know who you are.
I would like to give a shout out to the Northwest Nerd Network for their continued support and sponsorship of our show.
Shout out to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the movie, showing that Santa at one time was racist until Rudolph's little red nose could indeed aid him. It kind of reminds me of white coaches with black players.
A shout out to Christmas for making me realize just how worthless my job is.
Shout out to Ocean Pet Sea Monkeys.
My last shout out goes to the MasterChef Junior collection on Xbox One.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to us. We put out new videos every single Sunday, and if you have a suggestion for our mystery hat, leave a comment in the section below. Thank you, and good night.
See you next week. Same bat time, same bat station.
Closed captioning for the Nerdy 9 at 9 brought to you by the End to the Third podcast. Join Sean and Bill on a geeky, twice weekly journey through the news, nonsense, and entertainment stories that populate the internet. Fun and games and uneducated opinions are abound, and even a guest or two, and robots. There will always be robots. Subscribe on iTunes or visit northwestnerdnetwork.com. And please remember to spay and neuter your cats.